a leaflet going through the doors. So we'll actually do a door drop to the 285,000 properties which are within that boundary on that map. And that will be a letter and leaflet to say to people, this is what is happening, these are the changes, this is what an urgent care centre is, this is where you can go there, and this is where you can find out more information. We're doing that detailed leaflet, we're also doing easy read information so that when we're going out to community groups or areas where there are low literacy, that we have a more accessible version. We've worked with our patient representatives to get a good group of the types of organisations we should go out to, and we will proactively send leaflets and posters to all these organisations. We've got just over 4,000 organisations on our list. You can see the list of them there. Some are a bit more obvious, like GP surgeries and hospitals, so at that point of interaction people have that. But we also talked about some of the more unexpected ones, such as hairdressers and taxi companies. So places where people do talk, but they need, they might have information, they might have a chance to sit and think in a way that they might not be going to a GP surgery or hospital, but that doesn't mean they're not going to need to know changes that are happening. We're also doing something quite different for schools, purely because if we wait until the core campaign starts, the schools are on holiday. So we've actually already sent a letter to the schools to say these changes, this is sort of what's proposed, and we'll do something else in early September, so prior to closure, but just as they've gone back, so that we're making sure that we are giving parents, and that will be, that's got specific information about care for sort of the paediatric side of things. So overall, we'll be sending just shy of 500,000 leaflets and about 11,000 posters out to those organisations. In terms of the advertising, we're doing a number of things. So where possible, adverts in local papers, which is obviously easier in some areas than others. But we are making sure that we are making up that. So there are billboards which will be near the hospitals. So those will appear a little bit later. So it's about sort of focus and targeted reminder as you approach the hospital. We're doing 81 panels on the inside of 30 different bus routes across the area. Doing 150 bus stop and standalone bus stop size adverts on the side of the road. We do have a map showing where all of those are, and that does mirror that core geography that I sort of spoke about earlier. We're doing things like the screens you have in some GP surgeries, we'll be putting information on there. But also we're doing 312,000 pharmacy bags, so that's across that entire core geography, and the figures in terms of the number of prescriptions that those pharmacists fill. The 312,000 pharmacy bags will last for 10 weeks. So that means anyone collecting a prescription during that 10-week period will have information about the changes for Hammersmith and Central Middlesex at the point where they're engaging with healthcare. So just move on to the advertising testing. We did quite a bit of work thinking about what wording we should use and how we could do that. And we very much put a lot of emphasis on what the independent research with the general public was going to tell us. So we started off with an advert saying that the A&Es were closing, followed by information about the urgent care centres. We took that to a few different groups ourselves, both clinical groups and our patient representative groups. And there were sort of some interesting discussions about what was the right way of saying things, how much information we should give. And I should say this is very much about what's on the billboards, so that's short information. What we decided to do was test 3 different words going into the testing, so closing, changing and becoming. Becoming did not work well at all. However, in the public testing, and we have these reports that we can find more information from, changing was very much the preferred option, which the reason for that was a lot of people felt that when they'd gone to an A&E, they'd maybe been treated in an urgent care centre, but they didn't know they'd been treated in an urgent care centre. It's that colloquialism of I'm going to an A&E. So they felt that by saying A&E was closing, they assumed that there was nothing on the site. They couldn't go there for any healthcare that they needed. And so one of the things for us that I was sort of referring to earlier was that it's very important that people know that they can still go to these hospitals for an urgent care centre. They can still get treatment for a wide range of minor injuries and illnesses, and it's important that we still get people to go there. Part of the testing, a lot of people were saying we shouldn't use the word closing at all. We felt that it was still very important that on the adverts that there is a clear line which says the A&E departments are closing, so we don't want people turning up who shouldn't. We want people to still go to call 999 if they need an ambulance. So if I move on and show you sort of the advert, we've got a few slides on the rationale, which I think we just skip past for now. There are two final adverts. This is the billboard, so it has slightly less information. And if you just move on to the next one, I think it's the more prevalent one. So it's a bit smaller because it's on the screen. But what we'll have is the large graphic of the date, the two hospital names, and information about what you should go to an urgent